Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again from the OREI team with an overview of the BK-4927 4-input, 1-output 8K HDMI switch. This product was designed to make it really easy for you to connect 4 different HDMI media devices to a single 8K ultra high definition monitor at the same time, while providing complete control over which of those media streams is being displayed on that single monitor at any given time by simply tapping a button on the front of the unit or by using the included infrared remote control. The product fully supports 8K ultra high definition media content at up to 60 frames per second, as well as 4K content at up to 120 frames per second, and is both HDMI 2.1 as well as HDCP 2.3 compliant, which means it's plug and play compatible with a wide range of modern media equipment. It also provides audio extraction capabilities where it can digitally separate the audio from the media that you're displaying, and it allows you to pass that audio along through an HDMI eARC connection, or a digital SPDIF connection, or an analog left and right connection to a home stereo or a soundbar for that full theater experience. Now, as part of this overview, I'd like to start with a quick unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and then I'll take a closer look at the unit, and I'll explain the connections and indicators so you understand how to use it. I'll list the features and functions that this product provides, and then I'll come back one more time and do a short demonstration to show you just how easy this product will be to use with your own equipment. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first open up the box, you'll find the module. You'll also find a single 5-volt 1-amp DC power supply. You can simply plug this into any standard wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it, which plugs directly into the back of the unit and provides all the power you'll need for operation. Also included is a full infrared remote control that allows you to make your selections from quite a distance away from the switch. And finally, a full instruction manual is also included that lists connection diagrams, specifications, and a lot of other really good information about the switch that you'll need to understand in order to use it correctly. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the unit, I'll list the features and functions, and then I'll come back and do that demonstration. The product features a full metal enclosure which makes it really durable and helps to minimize outside interference from causing any issues with the sensitive electronics inside. On either side of the cabinet, you'll find these ventilation slots that are designed to let any heat that develops during operation escape and keep the electronics inside at a very comfortable temperature. On the front of the unit, starting on the left, you'll find an infrared receiver window, and that's where the signals from the remote controller picked up. So when you set this up on your media center or on your desktop, make sure that window is visible if you're using the remote control. To the right of that is a power indicator. When you add power to the module, it starts an internal power on self-test where it checks the electronics, and once it finishes that test and passes, it'll light that LED, letting you know it's ready to use. To the right of that are 4 more LEDs labeled input 1, 2, 3, and 4. These show you which of the inputs is currently being sent to your output display, and you can change that by tapping the switch button on the front. To the right of that are 2 more LEDs labeled output 1 and output 2. When you connect this to your monitor and a sound system with an HDMI cable, those connections are checked, and once they've been verified, the corresponding LED will come on, indicating a solid connection. The switch also offers an automatic mode where it can decide which of the inputs is sent to your monitor based on which of these comes online sooner. And to turn that on, you can hold the switch button down for 3 seconds or more, and the automatic LED will come on, letting you know it's an automatic mode. And to the right of that is an eARC indicator. This product provides audio extraction capabilities where it can digitally separate the audio from the media content being displayed, then allows you to pass that along to a soundbar or home stereo through either an eARC HDMI connection, an analog left and right connection, or even a digital SPDIF connection. And if you'd like to use the eARC connection with a product that's eARC certified, you can turn that function on by tapping that button right there. To the right of that is an audio selector button that allows you to step through the various audio options available on the product for the analog audio output. And then finally, to the right of that is a USB-C port labeled Service that's used for firmware updates. And to complete the upgrade, you'll connect this to a computer and move the firmware file over to the module. On the rear of the units where you'll make all your connections, starting on the left, you'll find 4 full-sized HDMI ports labeled in 1, 2, 3, and 4. These connect to whatever media devices you'd like to share on your single output monitor. To the right of that is another full-sized HDMI port labeled output 1 and eARC. This connects to your monitor to the eARC port. To the right of that are 3 audio output connections, a full-sized HDMI, which is an eARC output, an optical SPDIF, or an analog left and right, you can use these to connect an external soundbar or home stereo for that full theater experience. And finally, to the right of that is a DC input port, and that's used with the included power supply. You'll simply plug that power supply into a standard wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it, which plugs in right there and provides all the power you'll need for operation. The OREI BK-4927 is compatible with all 8K media sources, including digital projectors, computer systems, game consoles, media players like Apple TV, and streaming devices. The product's features include full support of 8K ultra-high definition media content. It provides 4 HDMI inputs and a single HDMI output. It is both HDMI 2.1 as well as HDCP 2.3 compliant. It features audio extraction and offers connections for audio equipment through an HDMI eARC port, an analog left and right stereo port, and a digital SPDIF output port. Now I'll show you the connections you'll need to make to use this product with your own equipment. And for this demonstration, over here I've set up 3 small media players. 2 of them are displaying different images to make it easy to tell them apart, and the third media player is looping a video. I've also set up a mini PC because I'd like to show you that you can easily mix and match a variety of media devices on the product at the same time. Over here I've set up a high-resolution monitor as my output device, and right here I have an older amplifier that can accept an analog audio input. In front of me I have the switch. Now the first set of connections I'll make are from the media devices directly to the switch, and I've already connected a high-speed HDMI cable up to each of the devices. The other end of that cable I'll plug into HDMI input port 1, 2, 3, and finally 4. And it's really important that you use a high-quality HDMI cable to make all your connections to ensure the best possible picture on your output monitor. And now we're ready to connect up the display. I have another high-speed HDMI cable connected to the eARC port on the rear of the display, and I'll plug that directly into the HDMI output port on the switch. And now we're ready for power. I've already plugged in the power supply. The other end of that cable has a barrel connection on it, which plugs directly into the DC input port on the rear of the switch. And the minute I add power, it starts an internal power on self-test where it's checking the electronics. It's also checking the resolution of the media devices and the resolution of the monitor to make whatever adjustments are needed to give you the best possible picture. And there you go. We're looking at input number 3, and I'll tap this switch right here to move to the next one. Now it's going to take a second to make the adjustment again, and you'll see the next input, input 4, come up. And that's the video. So I'll move on to input number 1. And again, it takes a second to make that adjustment for the resolution. And one more, I'll go back to 3. Now, the nice thing about that is that you can use different resolution devices with the same monitor, and the switch will accommodate for that. Now, I'd like to go back to the video real quick because I'd like to show you the audio output. This unit provides audio extraction capabilities. So by going back to that video, which has audio in the background, you can't hear it, but it's playing through the speaker on this monitor, which is not that great, but I'd really like to use this external amplifier. So this unit provides audio extraction capabilities in 3 ways. You can use a soundbar or home stereo that's eARC compliant, or you can use an analog system like I have here, or even a digital system with an SPDIF connection. All you have to do is select which audio you'd like, the profile in the front, and you can step through that by tapping the audio button. And then in this particular case, I'm using an analog connection, 3.5mm, and I'll plug that directly into the audio output on the back. And there's the audio. That's pretty cool. So what you've got here is a 4-port switch that's high resolution, where you can share 4 high-definition media devices with a single monitor. You can choose between them by tapping a button on the front or using the remote control, and the product provides audio extraction capabilities to give you that full theater experience. And it really is just that easy to get it working. I hope you found this overview of the OREI BK-4927 4 input, 1 output 8K HDMI switch helpful. This product makes it really easy for you to connect 4 different HDMI media devices to a single 8K ultra high definition monitor at the same time, while providing all the control you need over which of those media streams is being displayed on your monitor at any given time by simply tapping a button on the front of the unit or by using the infrared remote control from quite a distance away from the switch. The product fully supports 8K ultra high definition media content at up to 60 frames per second, as well as 4K content at up to 120 frames per second, and it's both HDMI 2.1 as well as HDCP 2.3 compliant, which means it's going to work great with all of your modern media equipment. It even provides audio extraction capabilities where it can digitally separate the audio from the media that you're enjoying and allows you to pass that along through an HDMI eARC connection or a digital SPDIF connection or even an analog connection to a soundbar or home stereo for that full theater experience. Everything you need to get started is included with the kit, and with a few simple connections you can be up and running in no time. So until next time, thanks again for watching.